I am learning every single day the depth of the cult of personality and the subsequent irrationality of those who subscribe to that as a cult member. If you're a card-carrying member of the cult of personality, guys, this channel is not for you. It is not for you. My goal on this channel is just to proclaim truth. And if in my proclaiming truth I make a mistake, I expect to receive criticism and correction. That's how life works. If you work against the principles of liberty, if you work against other individuals, if you work against natural law or God's law or whatever you want to call it, expect to receive the consequences for that. I don't know how many times I've talked about the cult of personality and cognitive dissonance and the fact that we need to stay on track and reject things that come against the truth. Let me give you an example. People say, yeah, I'm a patriot. I know what the Second Amendment says and I will defend it to the death. What does the Second Amendment say? What does it say? I bet if you went out on the street and you interviewed people, they know kind of what it says. Look, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. If anyone in any political party, I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care who it is, if they come against shall not be infringed. In other words, if they jeopardize your inherent right to keep and bear arms, to protect yourself, to protect your family, to go hunting, whatever you want to do with it. Doesn't matter. It's not anybody's business. Well, why do you need an AR-15? Why do you need a 30-round magazine that they call clip? Everybody's still calling them clips. What's up with that? It's not a clip. It's a magazine. A clip loads a magazine. You empty the clip into the magazine goes in the gun, the bullets come out of the magazine and into the gun. That's how it works. If anybody comes against the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, anybody, they are your enemy, and that's all you need. But the economy's going great. Look, black unemployment is down, Hispanic is down. But what about shall not be infringed? What about that? If somebody's going to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms, they are your enemy. How hard is that? You didn't have any problem going against Obama or Hillary or Bill Clinton, or Ronald Reagan. He's the guy that first came up with the assault weapons ban. Anybody who thinks they can come in and proclaim that they have a higher claim over your life and property than you to the tune of they shall infringe and go against shall not be infringed is your enemy. Hillary Clinton was your enemy because of it. Richard Nixon was your enemy because of it. Ronald Reagan was your enemy because of it. And anybody who comes along after them will be your enemy because of it. And now Trump is your enemy because of it. But because people are so checked in to the cult of personality and checked out of critical thinking, they just, oh, well, it's Donald Trump. Well, oh, in that case, like before Trump enters through, it's like, yeah, shall not be infringed. I'll die for those rights. You don't have any right. It shall not be infringed. You don't take our guns. Oh, Donald Trump said, red flag laws, the extreme risk protection orders, that if somebody saw you in a freaking grocery store with the sidearm on and they followed you home to find out where you live, they can literally make, under the extreme risk protection order, the red flag laws that Trump endorses, they can make a phone call to authorities, not using 911, and the police can get a warrant to search your house against your Fourth Amendment rights, trample on your Second Amendment rights, take all your guns from you, put you under a psychological evaluation, not give your guns back for a year if they ever give them back. Trump is for that. And you're for Trump? Seriously? I mean, I don't even have to talk about international Zionism. I don't have to talk about the fact that Steve Mnuchin is the Treasury Secretary. Why would you put a Goldman Sachs international banker in as the Treasury Secretary? Why would you put anybody who's a warmonger in any position? Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. And then you got Bolton, the National Security Advisor, just frothing at the mouth for war. Oh, but I'm a patriot. I'm for this country. I'm for America. If you're for America, you're for the Second Amendment, period. If anybody goes against that Second Amendment, then you as an American are against that person. How hard is that, guys? Oh, but Trump is so great. Look at the economy. The economy doesn't have anything to do with the President of the United States. The economy has everything to do with what the international bankers pull behind the strings in regard to the fiat currency Ponzi scheme that they got going up. And they want to set up all these centralized banks all over the place. That's why you see what's going on in Venezuela. They got to move in so they can steal resources and set up a central bank. That's how it worked with Libya. That's how it worked in Iraq. With Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein started buying and selling oil with euros. Oh, we can't have that. So now we got 9/11, and then we move in there so that we can eradicate Saddam Hussein, restore the reserve currency, the petrodollar Ponzi scheme that it is. Same thing with Libya. And Gaddafi wanted to set up a gold-based currency called the dinar, a gold-based currency. Oh, can't have that. Move in. We came, we saw, he died. Guys, this is all about the petrodollar Ponzi scheme. This is all about the narco dollar. Why are we in Afghanistan? Why are we spending $120 billion a year on Afghanistan? Because we got to protect the poppy fields. We got to do that for the pharmaceutical industry, and we got to have our narco dollar because that's got to prop up the dollar because the petrodollar isn't enough anymore because the gig is up. The jig is up, whatever. My point in making this video is don't follow me. Don't follow Mark Dice. Don't follow people. You're a people follower. You're going to check your mind off of the truth. And when truth comes knocking at your door, you're not going to be able to open it because you're going to be paralyzed because your ticket that should be in your brain, you took out of your brain and put in the box of the cult of personality when you checked into that church. If I am wrong about something, correct me. I love correction because I love the truth. And that's my only agenda is the truth. And maybe it makes you feel better about yourself. Well, Mark Dice is a good guy. He may be a great guy. He may be a great neighbor. But he's not saying anything against Zionism. What is Zionism? Zionism, 2 words. Israel first. You can't be a Zionist and be an American. Because if you're a Zionist, your priority is to look after Israel first. That's why we're giving them minimum $38 billion over a 10-year period of time. That's $3.8 billion every single year. Take out your calculator, look how much that is a day. And that's just on the books what we're giving Israel. All of our a lot of our tax money is going, if you're giving to NASA, you're giving to Israel. $52.5 million a day going to NASA. What are we thinking, guys? Is it really America first? Are you really for shall not be infringed? I mean, I will hold your feet to the fire just like I expect you to hold my feet to the fire. And that's based on love, human compassion, and decency. If you love somebody, you tell them the truth. You don't withhold the truth. You tell them the truth. Why am I anti-Trump? Because I'm pro-Second Amendment. And when Obama went against the Second Amendment, I was against Obama. And when Hillary went against the Second Amendment, I was against Hillary. And I didn't have to hear anything else. Besides the fact that they're Council on Foreign Relations puppets, you don't have to know anything else to know that he's against your individual right to protect yourself. He's for background checks. He's for red flag laws. He's for extreme risk protection orders. He's for civil asset forfeiture. He put Steve Mnuchin in there as a Zionist international banking specialist and as the Treasury Secretary. And guys, we could go on and on. I could go all day about this, but really, you don't need to go beyond the Second Amendment. You don't need to. Are you really an American? Are you really calling yourself a patriot? You're calling yourself a patriot and a defender of the Second Amendment, but you're for somebody who's against the Second Amendment with the red flag laws? Why do you think I make all these videos? Like, what's that guy's name? The guy with the patch over his eye. I can't remember his name right now. Anyway, he's for, he sounds like a great guy and he's got some great words and, boy, he's slamming the Democrats. Look at all the great things that he says. But he's for Brian Babin's TAPS Act. The TAPS Act is like the red flag laws on steroids. It's actually pre-crime. You don't even have to be charged with a crime. They could just suspect that you might commit a crime sometime in the future and not allow you to have a firearm. That's what the TAPS Act is all about. Look it up. I'll leave a link in the description for you. Read the words. Read the terminology. These people that are for red flag laws are for the TAPS Act. Why? Because we got to protect the kids. We got to stop these mass shootings. We got to beef up gun-free zones that don't work and never will work because criminals always get guns because they disobey laws. It's just common sense stuff. So you can call me anti-American. You're just a libtard. Yeah, I'm a libtard. because I'm for the Second Amendment. And I think that anybody who's against the Second Amendment is the enemy of the people. Yeah, that makes me a libtard. That puts me soundly in the AOC category. Yep, I'm just buddy-buddy with Nazi Pelosi being for the Second Amendment and against anybody who comes against it. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. But it makes people feel good to cast aspersions and use ad hominem attacks. It's easy to type and go, unsubscribe. Guys, we need to hold each other's feet to the fire. And that's why I put that last video out on Mark Dice. When you get invited to the White House for a social media summit and you've written a book itemizing why CNN is so bad, and all you can do is accost Jim Acosta, there's something wrong, because you're not doing your audience or a potential future audience any favors. What if somebody watches that and they just think, yeah, what an asshole, he's just antagonizing them. What's the point here? What's the point? But if you came up with examples like, hey Jim, why do you work for a company that employs somebody like Van Jones, who admits privately that the Trump-Russia collusion thing was a nothing burger, but publicly for 2 years, like a year and a half after that private disclosure, kept saying the Trump-Russia collusion was a thing? The guy is obviously a liar. He's a change agent. He says one thing out of this side of his mouth when he thinks he's not on camera, and another thing when he knows that he is on camera. That alone crumbles the empire of the Communist News Network when you have somebody like that working for you. There's so many questions you can ask a reporter for MSLSD about Rachel Maddow and all the things that they said in promoting Trump-Russia collusion, which ended up not being true. Why is nobody talking about Trump-Israel collusion? That's an open secret. Nobody's talking about that. So when you write a book condemning CNN, but the best you can do is say, hey, my book sold more than your book. You know, like I said, Mark Dice might be a nice guy and a good neighbor to have, and have entertaining content. But you know, we're at the end here. This is end game stuff. When you've got somebody in Congress like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when you've got somebody like Rashida Tlaib and they're trying to implement all these things. Hey, you know, I think it would be a good idea. Let's do the Green New Deal. Oh yeah, how much is it going to cost? Only $93 trillion. I mean, we can afford that, can't we? That's why you got socialists like Bernie Sanders. We have entered such a low state of morality in America. We can actually entertain the thought of a Bernie Sanders getting behind the podium saying, hey, yeah, we want socialism. Democratic socialism? How does that even change anything? Socialism is evil, and democratic socialism is evil, if not double evil, because we're not a democracy. We are constitutional, or supposed to be, a constitutional representative republic. So anybody pushing this democracy idea, let alone democratic socialism, is completely out to lunch, because basically what they're asking for is mob rule socialism. That's what democratic socialism is. So we've dropped our standards, and you know, there's a lot of things that Mark Dice says that's funny. But the left versus right paradigm is utterly destructive. And if you don't understand that, if you don't understand that pushing statism right or statism left is still promoting the authoritarian agenda for the powers that shouldn't be, maybe do some more research. I'm not trying to make enemies, but I do know that truth will not be popular in this day and age. And if I don't speak the truth, I expect you guys to correct me with the truth. So there's my little rant. Did not expect it to go on this long. You can unsubscribe if you want. My goal here on this channel is to put out undiluted, unvarnished truth. It's not to be popular. And people can go, well, you're just jealous because Mark Dice got invited to the White House. Guys, look at my past videos. Does it look like I care if I'm invited to the White House or not? Who cares? I would like to be invited to the White House because I would do something that other people wouldn't do, and that's question the authority. Give specific questions on camera to CNN and MSLSD and NBC and Fox News or whoever, and Fox News or whoever else is there. Put them on blast and put them on the spot, not because I think I'm anything or I sold a bunch of books or I got all these views or I get more views than you do. Who cares? If I got 10 million views a day and I'm doing PewDiePie gaming stuff, how the hell am I going to change the world? I would make a ton of money doing it, but how am I changing the world? I'm interested in changing the world. Things are collapsing. And we all need to be interested. Our business should be to promote, to digest and promote the undiluted, unvarnished, unapologetic truth. And that's it. Again, if you guys disagree with me about something, leave your thoughts for the world of Google Thought Police and everybody who thinks it's okay to minimize the truth in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored Shadow Man video.